Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Augie from Augie Road TV. I'm gonna be. Did you guys see that? That was like a triple. I'm going back to the beginning. There was a triple drone transfer right here. That's pretty insane. Anyway, today I'm casting a game in between. At the time, this was not. He was not part of Team Evil Geniuses, EG, but I'm casting a game between Huck and Idra. So neither of them were part of EG at the time. And this is before the APM nerf, which means that we have a 400 APM for Idra, or for Huck actually, and then 300 for Idra. So this will be a fun game for us to sort of watch and see how the game used to go. Have the probe scouting pretty early. This is very common for any player who's going against Zerg on Naga, even back then, because the rush distance never changed in any of the patches in Naga. It's still short as ever, and Zerg can 6-pool and beat you so easy on this map. I get it all the time, so usually, me being a Zerg player, I'll just 8-pool just to ensure that I have the defense ready, but still be able to stay on top of my economy better than they can. So, just something smart to do. Do have Huck stealing 5 minerals from this mineral field, so it's 5 less that Idra will have later. And the probe is just scouting back and forth, I guess. Probably waiting for a drone to come out, not sure exactly why. We do have the Overlord floating over to scout. And there will be no anti-air by the time it gets here, most likely. That's another great thing for Zerg players. This map is great for Zerg players, but at the same it isn't. Because, especially when you're going against Terran, because Terran can turtle so easy off of this first base. The rush distance is as short as it is from like Lost Temple and on close spawns, and so you're guaranteed close spawns no matter what. And it's difficult to defend at the beginning, but it's possible. And at the same time, you can get overlords over there and scout and not have to pull any drones off the line. But he's going to anyway. It looks like we do have Idra ready to put down the hatchery, but he can't still because Huck is just being such a nuisance, dropping pylons, and there goes the hatchery. Finally. Something I'm really interested in is looking at pro APM, even if it is before the nerf, just because it's interesting to see how they just attack their keyboards, or like in their mouses. I'm like, how can you click so much? My APM is the highest it usually gets is like 90, and that's when I'm like on top of it and I just don't care, and I'm just like spamming clicks in the beginning with my Overlord. I'm like, scout there, no. Make sure he's scouting. I'm like, don't stop, just keep clicking. But anyway, so I spam APM. I know a lot of pros just, they'll go like this. I can't do it because 1 and 2 gives me views, but they'll go this and then they'll click on the hatchery, which I can't do very well, so. Did snipe a probe on its way up here. And we don't have, there's not a lot that I can do with this. You can see what an army is, you can see the reduction. Really, this is all you have way back when. It's units. So just like the usual, but APM doesn't really work properly how it does now. There's a pretty big drone transfer. I've noticed that Nest T transfers almost all his drones, which I think is a bit odd, but he doesn't always. It's like every now and again he will. And then we do have the Stalker and Zealot moving now, which could prove to do significant damage, especially if he chooses to. Oh, it looks like they're going to be microing the Queen back. And he is microing it properly to fight off that Zealot. And now attacking the Spine Crawler, but the Zerglings are coming in, pulling 2 drones off the line, sniping the Zealot. That drone does get taken out. And this Stalker, if he's not careful, could take a bit of damage too. So, as long as he keeps the Stalker on the creep, he should be fine now. And he could snipe it. He snipes the creep gimmer. Bit difficult to deal with, but as soon as this metabolic boost finishes up, the Stalker will. These Stalkers are going to have a hard time dealing with these lings, so what I realized recently, which is kind of pathetic, I guess I've known it all along, but just thinking about it, Zerglings have the fastest movement speed in the game when they have their upgrade, and they also have the fastest attack speed when they haven't upgraded. So, a bit interesting, especially since they're a 25 unit cost unit, but they can be extremely powerful, especially in the late game. He does have metabolic boost now, but he's choosing not to attack. He's going to move his... He did trap this one in his place. He will snipe one, and then probably transferring his drones back in, and good micro, trapping that single stalker within range of the spine crawler. We do have more units out coming down here, though. Plenty of sentries to deal with all these lings that are now moving out towards his base. So, with good force fields, I've seen Huck have a lot of good force fields, so this Zealot plus a few good force fields could be the end of a lot of lings. And here comes the force fields, possibly. Nope. We did just poke around just to see what was going on. It's like, I'm going to destroy your rocks for you. Because who likes rocks in their front yard, really? If everybody piled rocks in their front yard, would that be like... It just doesn't seem like it would be a very popular...
The best defense ever.
...fad for... Like, no, in America, it seems like the best defense ever. Well,
aren't you talking about the destructible rock?
I'm not sure what was up with those force fields, actually.
You can't get into my house until you destroy these rocks!
He is going to snipe a single sentry and then retreat. Now, sentries are a really expensive unit if you think about it, because looking at the map, there's about, let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Considering you're not going to get these two, that leaves 16 geysers full of gas. And if you go into late game and gas is mined out, and you've made a lot of sentries, it doesn't usually happen, but I've actually seen it happen in games where the players use up all their gas on sentries and can't make any more gas units. Especially in mono battles, where I've seen it. But in early game, if you're throwing so much gas into this many sentries, it can be bad for your overall game. But with this many zealots to back it up, it should be okay. Especially with all the lings. In a mono battle between lings and zealots, zealots would win, as long as they have charge. Proper micro, I think, would keep lings alive. If there wasn't a charge on it. We do have the third base going down at about the 10-minute mark. Total Bro commented in a previous game that is how the pros do it. That is how I try to do it. I wish I was going to be the pro, but I'm not yet. I'd like to be. Force fields doing very little, and the Guardian shields and force fields will continue to happen. Inevitably. These two need to turn around and hit him a few more times. Now using the force field to his advantage, forcing those zealots to micro around. I was playing a game earlier this week, actually, where he was massing sentries. I don't know, he was like obsessed with sentries. And I'm going to snipe that last one. I think there's a stalker's getting away. But anyway, he was massing sentries, and he was using force field like crazy, but he didn't realize that I had ultras out. It was like the 30-minute mark, and he was like, I'm getting out sentries. I don't know why. But my ultras would just stomp his force fields, and he'd lose them all, and he'd keep trying to force field, and this didn't make sense. It was funny, though. Do have the Hydra done down with range coming out, so probably we don't have any Hydras on the field yet, but I'm sure we'll be seeing some. Don't think there is no robotics bay yet, so there won't be any Colossi to deal with those light units like the Hydras and the wings, but I'm thinking both the unit compositions are relatively equal. The Stalkers are going to deal with those roaches, and the Mortals will deal with the roaches. The only thing that I don't see enough of is the Zealots. We have 3 out and a lot more lings than 3 can handle, especially with the roaches in there helping. In fact, do we have it? We don't have any wings out. I'm a liar. There goes our... We bring the overseer over so we can catch that observer. Neither of the Naga... I think it's funny in this replay also that if you look at it, the Naga towers are grayed out whenever nobody's using them. But just something funny about before. Anyway, nobody's using them, which is kind of funny to me. And I think he's going here to check this out. He's looking for the Overlord. He's like, where'd he go? It's creepy with no Overlord. And this isn't going to prevent the Expo at all. Because the creep was being spewed right here, not right here. You have the probe sitting there, wondering, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? With a good pylons in mind from an unbased expansion. We have an encounter going on over here. Actually, a lot of units with that. For the Protoss player in particular, the Immortals are extremely low on health and are in the back and have lost all their shields, which spells certain death for the Immortals. Trying to micro it back to keep it alive. And he needs to focus down that Immortal that's regaining shields if he wants to deal with it properly. More until it's being warped in. He does have a lot of gas. I'm surprised he didn't use the gas to warp in Stalkers, rather. And there's the GG from Huck. I like how it says done for me over here. This is great. They should have kept this feature in. Anyway, contaminate at the very end on the robotics facility. Which, that Colossi could have changed the tide of the battle had he waited just a bit longer to encounter. And if we go back, I just want to go back and see really fast. It looks like right here was the encounter. What was about to happen. I'm going to fast forward and go ahead and see when the actual encounter happens. It's right here. He's moving out. He's taking the tower. He probably sees the creep and snuck up. And here we have the encounter. So, I think had he waited for that Colossi to come out, had he gotten that robotics bay and waited for the Colossi, that would have completely changed the tide of the battle. He would have had Guardian Shield on the Colossi in the back. He would have had, if he could have gotten up his range upgrade for the Colossi as well, then the Hydras would have been doing nothing. They would have been standing back there getting roasted, and it would just completely have changed the tide of the battle. But it was a great timing attack for our Zerg player. Great contaminate. I bet when Puck saw this, he thought, oh no. In fact, I want to see really fast. One more thing. Just what he's looking at, what he GG's. It's like, okay, I got the Colossi coming. This is good. There's a lot of stuff, but we can handle it as long as I get that Colossi out. There he is. He's chrono boosting it. Chrono boosting. Right. Sees the contaminate. And he's like, oh, that's not good. And he leaves the game right there. So, makes sense to me that he would GG right there, realizing that I'm not going to get out of this unit. And contaminates do last for 8 seconds, so it would have been, or is it 8 seconds? Let's see. 30 seconds. No way, it's not really that long, is it? It must have been, like, lowered since I played. Because, so chrono boosted, robotics bay. Yeah, that looks like it's about 30 seconds, so. Anyway, great game. I'm glad I had the chance to cast it. It is pretty retro with this awesome display. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and catch you guys next time. Keep it cool, Augie Bro viewers.